Hello, YouTube world. This is Professor BJ coming back to you with another video. If you like the content for this channel, please like and subscribe. I'm really trying to grow my channel and I need your support. I love to bring great content to you. Some of the headline as it relates to education, mediation, eviction moratorium, career development, business, all of the above. I would love to for you to like and subscribe to my channel. I do need your support. So this is another video. The last video I talked about was an article that was from Forbes, and I wanted to continue. I didn't want that video to be too long because there's a lot of information when we talk about the decline in college enrollment, the largest decline in a decade. That is in 1 year. Just think about that. In 1 year, there was the largest decline in a decade. And that's due to, you know what, we can't see it on this channel, but that is amazing to me that within 1 year, there was such a decline. And so what I wanted to continue talking about, and I talked about 2 videos ago, why fewer men are going to college than women. We talked about the return on investment. We talked about it has to make sense. We talked about not more students are really thinking about the long-term effects of assuming so much debt, so that if you're 25, you're 22 years old, you have 50, 60, $70,000 of student loan debt. It's going to be hard to get your own apartment, to get your first house, to get a really nice car, start a family, pay for college education for your children. So these are some very real issues that, as I mentioned, always look for the return on investment, whether it's related to college, whether it's related to a home, a car. You want to make sure you do your due diligence, you do your homework, and as I talked about in that video regarding college, make sure that you're majoring in a field where you can get a job. You don't want to spend all this time and money and then not be able to get a job to support yourself, so that you end up living with your parents until you're 30, 40 years old. That's no fun. No one wants, it's great to be able to stay with your parents perhaps when you first get out of college so that you can save money. That's great. A lot of people do that. I'm not suggesting that. I'm talking about where you are trapped due to high student debt and you have no options. So you're forced to stay with your parents. That's what I'm talking about. Not by choice, but by force. So I wanted to continue talking about the decline in enrollment and some of the reasons. So some of the reasons, again, the article I was telling you about from the previous video, again, like and subscribe. I will keep saying that because I really want my channel to grow. And I'm still not as confident perhaps as I should be because I'm still new to this, but I really, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to the challenge, and I think it will be amazing with your support. So please like and subscribe. So a couple of the reasons why they were not enrolling: the inability to pay tuition due to family income changes 70%. That's a big number, 70%. Loss of child care, 63%. Changes in institutional financial aid packages, 51%. These are big percentages, so this explains why there's such a decline in student enrollment. Fear of getting sick from the virus, 50%. Wow, these are very real issues. And it went on to state that students from families who earn $75,000 are less likely, or less, $75,000 or less are twice as likely to have canceled their enrollment plans for the fall when compared to students in households that earn more than $100,000. So, a lot of the issues deal with, finances, 70% according to this article. The inability to pay tuition due to family income changes. As I stated in my previous video, a lot of people are without a job. They've lost their income. They have not been able to return to work. You know, we see the jobs reports every week. Some employees have not been able to return to the office. They're on unemployment. In some families, the husband and wife are both unemployed. So that makes it very difficult. The budget is very thin. There are no luxuries. And for the students that are in college, that's unfortunate. But, you know, I guess, and I've said this before, because I was a working student, both at the undergraduate level and the graduate. I worked college work study 4 years when I was in undergrad. And then when I got my work on my graduate degree, I actually was working full time and going to school at night. This was before online learning. So I would go to school from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. during the week. And sometimes I would have weekend. Some semesters I'd have weekend courses, and that was 8 to 5 on the weekend, Saturday or Sunday or both days. So it's like a full-time job, you know, with class, and then, you know, doing a lot of group work, you know, projects and stuff. So it was very difficult. I will not say that it wasn't difficult. It was worth it, but it was very difficult. A lot of time management, a lot of sacrifices, a lot of juggling, competing priorities, a lot of sacrifices, things that I couldn't do that I wanted to do, hang out with friends and, you know, family, go to, you know, certain family events. I couldn't do that because, you know, school, there's always school. You know, it was almost like a running joke. It's like when family or friends would call and say, can you do such, you know, this, that, or the other? Oh, no, I have school. You know, it became the running joke. But, you know, it was a priority for me because I was paying for my graduate degree. I think I said that in the previous video. I paid out of pocket, so I was not going to waste any money. So again, I wanted to talk about, okay, so those are the reasons why let me repeat this for those that are just coming in or just watching the video. Inability to pay tuition due to family income changes, 70%. Loss of child care, 63%. That's still a very big issue for some parents. If they are requested to go back to work, but their children are still being, I always want to say homeschool, if they're still doing virtual school. Some schools started out the fall semester in classroom, and because of the situation that we can't speak of, our state specifically, they were sent back to online learning. So that is very challenging for a lot of parents with young children, especially if you have multiple children, you know, different schools. And so the third thing I mentioned, changes in institutional financial aid packages. And you know what's interesting to me, that, and again, this is from what I've been told, despite the fact that a lot of universities held classes online, they still charge the same amount as if the student had gone into the classroom on campus. So and I think there are a couple of universities, I think there were a couple of class action lawsuits I saw in the news. So some parents got together with other parents and said, hey, we're paying for in-classroom instruction, not online. Because as we know, I mean, we all know that some students, as I said, aren't built for online learning because you have to be extremely disciplined. And you have to stay on top of it because it moves very fast, and there's not someone that you see on a daily basis or weekly that's saying, do this, do this, do this. You know, your professors will, you know, reach out to you and then kind of give you a nudge. I think that's what they call it, being, you know, nudging the students. But, you know, for the most part, it's up to you to get the work done. So, you know, that's important. But again, fear of getting sick, that's very real. I don't know, I was listening to some of the reports. I'm not sure what the numbers are at this moment, you know, who has and who has not gotten the you know what. So that's still a very hot topic. It has become very political. Okay, so another part of this article stated that students are taking time off from school to work because of that 70%. Now what's happening is a lot of students are having to help their families make ends meet, help with the mortgage, help with some of this back the back rent, because they're getting ready to get evicted. So, eviction, college. And most people are going to pick college. They're not going to pick, excuse me, I'm so sorry. They're going to pick, paying for their housing versus, paying for college. Because at the end of the day, there are no guarantees. You can, even in fields that are, where there's usually not a lack of job opportunities, there's still no absolute guarantee that if you get a degree in a certain field that you are guaranteed a position. That doesn't happen. So that's why it's very, very important that you do your due diligence, you do your research, you make sure that the university, the degree, that, you seek out financial aid, you seek out college work study, you seek out grants. There are a lot of federal grants, there are a lot of foundations that give out grants, based on certain, classes, or, if you're in a specific group of people or gender or major, some of it is specific, some of it is general, to any student. Some is targeted, I guess that's what, it's a targeted scholarship, and some are just a general scholarship, anyone can apply for it. So these are the type of things that you have to be very mindful of. So, and I just mentioned this, during the 2020 spring semester, roughly 20% of all students didn't have access to the technology required for online learning. This includes laptops, home computers, and or high-speed internet. So you see, in some cases, a lot of, households did not have these luxuries, the laptop, the Wi-Fi, because again, either because of the financial strains or because of the location, if they're in a very rural area, it's going to be spotty at best, and that could be very frustrating too. Okay. So, again, I wanted to come and provide another video on this topic. So again, this is Professor BJ. Please like and subscribe to my channel. I really want to grow the channel, but I need your support. So if you've liked this content, I will be bringing more. At some point, once I learn all this technology, I want to have some wonderful guest speakers come in and talk about different careers, different professionals from different industries, from different, companies, to talk about, different professions, career tips, things like that. So again, have a great week. Professor BJ signing off. Thank you for listening and watching my video.